time check. On my end, it's 1:03 and it's 2:03. Muy buenas tardes. Bienvenidos a la clase de español. Hoy es el 15 de octubre de 2022. Buenas tardes, Patrick, Karen, Janet, Merly, and Anel.
Buenas tardes, maestra.
Buenas tardes, maestra.
Gracias. Ok, ahora estamos en el sesión 3. We're on our third session. And last time with our second session, we did greetings, we do a little of introduction, and quickly we do months and dates. As I've told you, in 10 minutes, we can do it because we're very familiar with the months and days, except the spelling that you have to take into consideration, okay? And for today's session, we're going to learn also as part of the vocabulary, the colors and shapes of the and parts of the body. So we take note of the colors and shapes, parts of the body, and our first article for this session will be about, and the grammar will be about article. We do a quick review of numbers and months, okay? And we always start with, this time, we have this introductory dialogue. It could be a dialogue or we take turns asking one. I'll start asking Patrick, then Patrick will ask Karen, Karen will ask Janet, Janet will ask Anel, Anel will ask Merly, and if someone will come, we continue, or else Merly will ask. Not anymore to Patrick. We'll end it with Merly, but Merly can ask me. Okay, I'll start. Patrick, ¿qué día es hoy?
Hoy es sábado el 15 de octubre de 2020 y 22.
It's 2000. It's already 2022. So 2022. Okay, muy bien. Gracias, Patrick. Now, Patrick, you ask Karen.
Karen, ¿qué día es hoy?
Unmute, Karen. We cannot hear you.
Perdón. Hoy es sábado el 15 de octubre de 2022.
Gracias. Karen, you ask Janet.
Hola, Janet. ¿Qué día es hoy?
Hoy es sábado, el 15 de octubre de 2022.
Gracias. You ask Anel.
Anel, ¿y qué día es hoy?
Unmute, Anel. Okay, go.
Hoy es sábado, el 15 de octubre de 2022.
Bien. Anel, you ask Merly.
Miss Merly, ¿qué día es hoy?
Hoy es sábado, el 15 de octubre de 2000 wait po, sorry.
Tranquila,
Ulitin ko na lang
tranquila.
po.
Okay, relax. Okay. Okay, Anel, you ask again.
Miss Merly, ¿qué día es hoy?
Hoy es sábado, el 15 de octubre de 2022.
Muy bien, gracias. Now, Merly, you asked me.
Ma'am Emma, ¿qué día es hoy?
Hoy es sábado, el 15 de octubre de 2022. Suena muy bien. I will still congratulate you for this. This is our first session to have this. And until the end, we start asking the day, what day is today? Today is, you say, hoy es sábado, el 15 de octubre de 2022. And when we reach verbos for the grammar, we also include in our startup for the class, what time is it? I don't want to advance because I want you first to focus on this, and then we have to be very particular in telling the time. So just pause it. We'll do that in the next coming sessions that we will have. Okay, but now we'll do some practice of the number, and I just want to reinforce in the abecedario, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, H, Never pronounce H like hola, like happy, holiday. It will always be O. So if in English you say hotel, in Spanish hotel, although it is spelled as hotel. Hoy should be not hoy, hoy. Hola is spelled as hola, but we pronounce in Spanish hola. That's why que día es hoy, not hoy. Then you answer, hoy es sábado. You just imagine na wala yung H and pronounce it immediately as O. Hola, hoy, que día es hoy, or hoy es sábado. Muy bien. Oh, credit card ka agad. Okay. Sorry, I will enlarge the number. It's a kind of practice. You might say napaka-advance naman. No, it's just the purpose of practicing number. But we'll do that a kind of dialogue. This time, I'll dialogue with Merly. Then Merly will question and answer. Anel will do it with Janet. And Patrick with Karen. Okay, what will be our conversation here? We ask like, can you give me your card number? So in Spanish, puede darme su número de tarjeta. Some words are not really familiar to us, but post it. Tarjeta is card. If it is tarjeta de número, tarjeta whatever, but it's card. Then you answer, mi número de tarjeta es, my card number is, you give this number. But we'll do it in a dialogue form. You will start saying, hola. Okay, then you answer, hola, buenas tardes. ¿Cuál es tu nombre? Balik tayo, ha? ¿Cuál es tu nombre? What is your name? I did not put any more the translation. Then you say, mi nombre es, my name is Emma. ¿Puede darme su tarjeta? ¿Puede darme su número de tarjeta? Can you give me your card number? Then you say, mi número de tarjeta es 4562-4562-5643. 9173. I think in my experience in a BPO context, we are not allowed to give 4578, 4562, especially, I think even in English, in Spanish, because that will confuse. Remember, we have tres palabra y un palabra, so it's still recommended just to say one number each. So, na instead of 45, just say 4578. Okay, this is a real card number, but I just copy it in the Google, okay? Then you say gracias, we answer de nada, okay? Can we start it now with Janet and Anel? Janet will start asking, then Anel will answer, then Anel will take turn asking, okay? You start, hola. Hola, H is always hola, okay? So Janet will ask the question, hola, ¿cuál es tu nombre? Puede darme gracias in red font. Then Anel will answer. Okay. Buena suerte. Good luck, Janet and Anel. We will just listen. But for some, please always unmute. You can already practice saying it loud. We cannot hear you. Okay. Start, Janet.
All right. Hola, Anel.
Hola, buenas tardes.
¿Cuál es tu nombre?
Mi nombre es Anel.
¿Puede darme su número de tarjeta?
Mi número de tarjeta es 4578-4562-5643-9173.
Gracias.
De nada.
Muy bien. Enhorabuena. Now, Anel, it's your turn to ask Janet.
Hola, Miss Janet.
Hola, buenas tardes.
¿Cuál es tu nombre?
Mi nombre es Janet.
¿Puede darme su número de tarjeta?
Mi número de tarjeta es 4578-4562-5643-9173.
Gracias.
De nada.
Muy bien. Enhorabuena. Now, can we hear Patrick and Karen? Patrick, you ask Karen, then later Karen will ask Patrick. Okay, start, Patrick.
Hola, Karen.
Unmute. It's okay.
Perdón. Hola, buenas tardes, Patrick.
¿Cuál es tu nombre?
Mi nombre es Karen.
¿Puede darme su número de tarjeta?
Mi número de tarjeta es 4578 4572 56 439173.
Gracias.
De nada.
Muy bien. Now, Karen, it's your turn to ask.
Hola, Patrick.
Hola, buenas tardes.
¿Cuál es tu nombre?
Mi nombre es Patrick.
¿Puede darme su número de tarjeta?
Mi número de tarjeta es 4578 4562 5643 9173.
Gracias.
De nada.
Muy
Gracias,
bien. Enhorabuena. Okay, Merly, you ask me now. Unmute.
Hola, Ma'am Emma.
Hola, buenas tardes.
¿Cuál es tu nombre?
Mi nombre es Emma.
¿Puede darme su número de tarjeta?
Mi número de tarjeta es 4578 4562 5643 9173.
Gracias.
De nada. Hola, Merly.
Hola, buenas tardes.
¿Cuál es tu nombre?
Mi nombre es Merly.
¿Puede darme su número de tarjeta?
Mi número de tarjeta es 4578 4562 5643 9173.
Gracias.
De nada.
Muy bien. For everyone, enhorabuena. Enhorabuena is like a felicitaciones. It's a congratulating you. Congratulations. We're on our third session. I always say, when I give like dialogue like this, it give me a very good memories of flashback of call center time. No? Now, some of you, I know you're listening a lot of Netflix, watching movie or podcast. You might sometimes, parang ano naman, you just feel you talk it very slowly, and then you find yourself listening to them. You say, kailan kaya ako maging katulad nila, no? like a native speakers. I said, claim your space. I always do that. Soy Filipina, hablo español. I speak Spanish. Why? I encourage you. It's better even you feel you're very slowly in reading. You see how kids, when we teach kids to do reading, I can always feel, because I handling kids in the village before, they really like, parang sila vacation. Like when they start with the word, like they're still thinking how to pronounce it like that. But I know in Spanish for us, not difficult, because anong basa siyang bikas. Unless you're studying French, I think some of you study Nihongo, it's difficult. But I will also tell my experience in BPO at one time, because we have one in our group who's really good. Kasi magaling makanta. Tapos always, before wala pa atang Netflix, hindi pa uso ang Netflix. Pero para ang dami niyang nobela. So when he's so excited taking calls, he speak really like how a native speaker speak. And you know, when we have a QA, because we don't have always at random, the QA will receive QA, but the QA is not from the Philippines. The comment on his call is really, he could not be understood because he's talking too fast. So then he was trying to explain, you listen to this call, how are this customer, but we are not customers. So I encourage you, of course, sometimes we aim for that. We want to sound like how a native speaker. You will later adapt it. It will depend. I will really say it will depend if you will be on the purpose of doing calls. It will really depend whom you are talking, that you will get adjusted. I can always say, because my 2 years here as a volunteer, she's from Barcelona, and I'm always saying, my Spanish now is already bad because of you. She feels also, what are you? I said, no. So porque she speak differently. I know it's a native speaker, but I can still feel. I said to her, you speak differently from those people who speak in Madrid. So I am sharing this story because I said you might feel how you say it is far different from what you're listening now. But tranquila. Tranquila is calma, no? Keep cool. You will later see like wherever you will be comfortable. In our succeeding lessons, we will encounter when we do listening skills, you can really see how a native speaker from, let's say, Argentina, Mexico, then compared it to Granada in Spain, how they speak. They speak differently, although it's all Spanish. They are all Spanish speakers, okay? I'm happy with this. I'm really happy with how you do the dialogue. Enhorabuena. Quickly review with the number. I was saying, always remember the una palabra we were saying. Because at times, you know, they will, when you're giving numbers, sometimes we will be asked, or I think it's a very tricky in one of the interview. It did not happen to me. They were saying, sinabi daw, what do you understand with una palabra and tres palabras with numbers? So they were saying, ang hirap naman tanungin, ano ibig? So they answered tres palabra like 200, 300 because they thought it's a 3 digits, no? Because they're applying for a financial account. So I was just listening to them. I said, I think, I do not know. I did not hear really the question, but I think it refers how you pronounce. It's not the digits, like tres palabras, meaning to say it's already hundreds, like 3, when you write 300, it's 300. So I said, I think it's not on the figure, but it's how you pronounce it, how you read it. Una palabra, it's one word. Even it sounds 2 words, again, like 16, 21, 22, 23 could sound 2 words already because 20 is 20, then plus you say tres. But it's una palabra, that's why you have to pronounce it 21, 22, not 20. Because 20 as one number, as 20. Then when you say dos, when you say 22, it could mean 20, 20, and another number 2. So when you want to say it's 22, it should be 22. Some are very particular. That's why in financial account, they focus on how you say the number because it will confuse. If somebody will say, okay, you're getting numbers, be it whatever, credit card or what number, they will say 22, you say 22, they might write it 20, then next 2. Because you say 20, then dos. If for a native speaker, when it happened to us, when they thought it's 20, it's 20, and the next number is 2. So it's 22. Should not be, it's not 20, it's a one word 22. That's why in giving numbers, I think for my experience in all the company, it's really a requirement. We cannot say two numbers. When you're giving phone number or credit card number, it should really be one number because it might confuse them with the way how they say the number. Then the tres palabras again, we might, some if we did not go through, actually my colleague, when we were talking about the questions, because like when we were in the health account, I remember Alabang, 4 of them has to transfer the same company, but they're handling another account. It's still with the same company, but they no longer talk to the patient, but it's already to, I think we call it provider, like to the doctors. Then, you know, they talk about payments, how the copay, like how much like that. So it entails with figures and numbers. That's why in one of the interview, they were asked there, how do they understand una palabra, tres palabra with con números. So when they say, each one of them, hindi ko nga naintindihan ang tanong, paano ko? So nagsabi daw niya, 300, 245. Parang nagbigay siya ng tres palabra, 200. Ini-imagine kasi niya, 245. So since we are together, sabi ko, I think i-check ninyo. Pero if you will ask me, yung pakaintindi ko dyan, pag sinasabing tres palabra, i-emphasize. Like you see, 34. So it's not 34. It's 34, it's a tres palabra, but it's 34. When we are listening, we are not aware of tres palabras. We might write 30, then we write 4. Kasi narinig natin 34. It's like 30 and 4 in English, hindi ba? If you translate this, E is N. So 34 30 and 4. So if you will take note numbers, you might write 30 and 4. But that simply means 34 because they emphasize the tres palabra. I just want to highlight this because it's good that you became aware of this saying numbers. Because if you will say, that's why they said, this is mas maganda sabihin sa 35, tay, you will not be understood also. They will understand you, but on our end, if we are not aware, for the non-native speaker, if we are not aware of the tres palabra, we might write 50 and 2 when we hear 50 y 2. So itatranslate ko yung 50 and 2, di 50 and 2 kasi sa English 52 yun dapat, okay? Just to reinforce a bit of these numbers, okay? Where I'm good with the number, I was about to ask you to read all these numbers, but I think do it yourself, the practice, especially the tres palabras. Like you say, 40 y 6, 50 is 5. If I have time, I would like to give, I'll give the number you write when I was in a classroom face-to-face that I'll check your notebook. Because when you listen also, when it's 70 y 2, it's 72 only, no? Don't confuse it, 70 and 2. Yun lang talaga I want to reinforce with number. Because it's something new for us to unlearn because we're not used of the tres palabras, okay? Then if we are aware that N is N, then it might be 70 and 4. Then you write 70 and 4. This sometimes comes confusing when you are giving already big numbers. Like you say 1,240 and 8. So it might, when you write later, you say, hindi na, parang 2 million naman ito because you add the 40, then you add another number. Okay, let's go to vocabulary. This time we go parts of the faces and body. You might say, baka mamaya kakanta tayo, my toes, my knees, my shoulder, my head. I want there's no really requirement when vocabulary what to prioritize, but if you will ask me what kind of order in my syllabus I put, I think I am still bringing the kind of experience I have that I said. It doesn't mean it's a BPO, it's a corporate word. We will not use this because sometimes I know last year when I have a tutor, Spanish tutor in one of the language center, it's only 10 hours. Then I said, paano ko, But it was clear there was no grammar just for them to be conversant. It's very challenging. How you will be conversant? I-memorize mo lahat yung phrases. But I still put parts of the house, parts of the body. Then my mentor, like the admin was telling, you don't have to put this. So I cannot really argue. I said, okay. But if you will ask me, I still put because it will depend of if we are focusing for BPO work, it will depend really what will be the account. My experience when I was in health account, first when I was with AT&T, I just realized parts of the house is very important. You know, when the technician will say, I am now in, saan pa yan? Kwarto na ba yan sa sala because they're putting the wiring, something like that. So it's important. Then when I was in health account, we just realized it's very important because they started complaining. They will not tell what is their sickness. They will just say, I need to see a doctor because my back is aching or my nose is swollen or my eyes. Then you find it's difficult. Ano daw yun? We started, I remember one of the patients was saying, I need to look for a doctor who can help me. Mi espalda, my espalda is painful. I cannot sleep for 3 days. Then we were in the floor. They said, Palda, ano to yung bag? Baka yung hip niya masakit. So we just try. One of our agent was trying to parang anong familiar sound? Kasi alam natin yung falda is a skirt, right? Skirt. So sinabi masakit ang falda. Sabi niya baka yung hips niya or what yung But I said, no, the espalda is your back, yung likod, yung parang may dito talaga yung sa pinaka-upper back. Okay, let's do this. Any guess? Some might be familiar already, especially for some who had already, you're doing your study or you're watching some. Okay, what is eyes, nose, mouth, ears, head? Any guess from anyone? I'll start with head. Parang meron ito sa mga nobela. I think sa nobela, mahilig ako magnobela. Kabesa. Di ba? Kaya head of, parang yung, di ba may ano, parang yung sa ating barangay kapitan, parang sa encabeza, like the head is cabeza. La cabeza. Okay, then we have ears is el oído. Oído, or for some, they use oreja. Isa lang oído, pag dalawa oídos. Ang mata is ojos. We say los ojos, nariz, nose, mouth, boca. Not very familiar. Okay, can I hear it from Anel? Read all the parts of the bad head, not house.
La cabeza, el oído, los ojos, la nariz, la boca.
Okay, la nariz. Merly, can you do it?
La cabeza, el oído, los ojos, la nariz, la boca.
Gracias. Patrick.
La cabeza, el oído, los ojos, la nariz, la boca.
Muy bien. Gracias, Karen.
La cabeza, el oído, los ojos, la nariz, la boca.
Gracias. Janet.
La cabeza, el oído, los ojos, la nariz, la boca.
Okay, pause. That is only for vocabulary purpose, but we go back to this material when we go to grammar. So these are just part of our house. We'll not go into detail kasi may magtanong ano yung sabi ko, yan lang muna, major parts. Then we go down as body, the whole body part. I think some here words are really familiar already. Okay, hair is pelo. We say el pelo. Shoulder is hombro, el hombro. Yung arm, this word is familiar. Masarap na dessert sa atin. Remember, ano yung Mercedes na masarap?
Brazo.
Brazo. You were smiling. Brazo de Mercedes. Sabi ko dyan talaga na ko. Hindi ba yung shape niya parang brazo? Arm. El brazo is arm. Tapos yung kamay, I think familiar sa Tagalog for some. Anyone, ano yung kamay? Pag sinasabi natin sa mga lolo, lola natin, anong sinasabi natin?
Mano.
Mano po. Hindi ba nagmamano tayo? That's Spanish. La mano.
Mano.
Kaya nga, mano po ka kay tita. Ano do, mano po. Magmamano kayo kay lolo. I think even in Tagalog, they use mano. Pag nag-aamin, hindi ba? Nagbe-bless. I can still hear. Daan muna tayo doon kasi magmano. Sabi ko, ano po? I think it's Tagalog. I think for many, as in the Philippines, ang mano po is really a Tagalog word for us. Okay. Then the knee is rodilla. Kasi isa lang. Pag dalawa, las rodillas. Ang leg, ito alam natin. Mahilig mag-barbecue. Sige daw. Ako nakita ko to sa Bacolod. Even sa Inasal. Pag mag-identify tayo anong parts ng barbecue. Anel, you're saying something. Paa ba? Paa is yung paa, pie. Pero yung paa din ba sa Tagalog? Hindi ba ginagamit pierna? Hindi niyo na-encounter. Nakita ko yun sa Bacolod, parang pierna. Pierna at saka sinabi, pierna, pecho. Yung pecho na ano, no, di ba? Breast part ng barbecue is you say pecho. Pierna for some is leg. Tapos paa, pag isa lang el pie or los pies, no? In one of my class in Spanish, when I have student from India, ang basa sa el pie pie, naawang ako, nahirapan sila. Kaya sabi ko, mahirap sila makisama sa isang klase to Tagalog kasi advanced tayo. We have so many words that are familiar and for them it's difficult, no? I remember the pierna, they pronounce it as pie, or the LPA, they read it as pie, no? Okay, so these are just the parts. We'll still go back. I just want you to familiar with that. vocabulary pa rin tayo, we say colors. Pag color or colors in Spanish, may kanta ito, pero hindi pa kayo pinanganak. Colores. So, colors, when you say in Spanish, it's colores, okay? Let's run down the different colors. What is it in Spanish? Okay, red is, I'll put rojo. Oh, very good. I heard it from Patrick, right? Rojo. Then we say blue.
Azul.
Azul, very
Azul.
good. Yellow.
Amarillo.
Amarillo, perfect. Orange.
Naranja.
Naranja or anaranjado. Naranja is really accepted because when you say the fruit is also naranja. The color, you can also use naranja and anaranjado. Green, ito marami to sa mga organizations ngayon, especially on environment. It's
Verde.
verde, muy bien. So, we have rojo, azul, amarillo, anaranjado, verde. Let's move for some more colors. When we say purple, it's morado. When we say pink, it's rosado. Then when we say brown, it sounds like coffee, cafe. Cafe is brown. Black, anyone? What is black? Common to sa atin din. I think familiar even to some
Negro.
words. Negro. And when we say white, it's apelido ng mga tao sa atin. It's blanco. Di ba may aso yun si Blanco? Kasi blanco is white. Negro, cafe, rosado, morado. Pose will go back with that. This I'm just running down our vocabulary. Let's go to grammar. Okay. For our grammar today, we will really, I was telling you last time, I will really start it step by step. Parts of the speech will not go, that's already higher level when you start what this is subject, predicate. I know for some we can do that because meaning to say we know this already in English. But let's really start because there are also some points in Spanish, not only some, lot of points that we have to unlearn how it is in English, okay? So, with the parts of the speech in Spanish, we have los artículos, los sustantivos, los adjetivos, los verbos, like verbs, adjectives, noun, and articles. We have adverbs, pronouns, preposition, conjunctions, interjections. We'll not do it all in nivel 1, but we'll take step 1 at a time. We start with article. So sa English, memorize na natin yan. No? We have the definite and definite article. In English, we have the as the definite article or we have the a and an. So alam na natin, kailan natin gagawin. I will not discuss anything of English. Baka mamaya ako pa mali. No? A is like, I remember, an is for vowel, A is for consonant. For today, we will just use the definite article the. Los artículos the. In English, isa lang siyang klaseng artikulo. When we say, I'll start, we say the apple, the table, the car. I will say the girl, the boy. Kahit the girls, the boys, kahit marami, the lang talaga yung article. Walang pagbabago. Klaro yan sa atin. Here's in Spanish. Yung the na sa English hindi nagbabago, sa Spanish nagbabago siya. Nagiging 4 siya. Walang atrasan. Now I really reinforce start my grammar like this because may mga din ako parang I will always say fall back or before I was trying to teach grammar na inisip ko kaya naman natin yan, alam pass lang, but I realized mahirap i-interiorize because I have an experience, the recent one, nag-back out si kuya, ayaw na mag-class. Pinadala ng message sa admin na pasa sa akin, sinabi, I am confused, the word confused. Tapos may Tagalog, nahihirapan ako, bakit lahat na lang ng bagay may gender? Sabi ko, naku, gender issue tuloy si kuya. Sabi niya, kahit mesa, kahit kotse, kahit lahat daw ng bagay may gender. Sabi ko, oo nga naman. Mali ata ang pagkasabi ko. Okay, I'll start it here. Ina-advance ko tong anecdote ko to help you also understand bakit nalito nga si Kuya. Siguro kasi I think I was also I did not focus so much in explaining it. So nalito. I'll start with this. When in English, the article the is only one. You say the boy, the girl. Pag marami, you say the boys, the girls. It's still the. Tama? Walang pagbabago. In Spanish, nagiging apat siya. First thing na natin, sinasabi singular. Balik ako dito. Sa Spanish, mayroon kasi singular plural. Mayroon naman sa English, hindi ba? Singular plural. Pag isa singular, pag plural. Pero sa Spanish, hindi nagbabago yung artikulo. Kahit singular plural siya. So yun isa yung pakaiba. Pero pareho mayroon singular plural. Then, in Spanish, we have masculine, feminine. It means gender. Actually, ito yung pinaka-highlight sa language, not only for Spanish, Portuguese, French, kasi may gender talaga. Kaya may masculine, feminine. At may bearing ito. What is bearing? You have really to make into agreement with the gender and with the number to have the correct article. Okay, I'll start with the first example. When we say the boy in English, ang lalaki, ang, no? Tama, correct ba ako sa Tagalog? In Spanish, we say el niño. If boy is niño, we say el niño. Kasi boy siya. Singular siya, masculino. But the moment magiging feminino, si boy magiging girl, we will not say el. We start using the article nagiging la niña. So may changes na. Instead the boy, the girl lang. Kaya nga sabi ko, part of unlearning natin, we don't translate always in English or else we got lost or else our Spanish will be wrong. Kasi sa English, fixated na yan. Alam natin, pag alam natin ang article the is el, lahat ng sabi na el mujer, el niña, kasi el nga naman ang the. When you put translation, usually you just put the translate yan as el. So, dyan palang mawawala. So, el niño, singular, the girl, it will already be la niña. Now, when it will be plural, sa English, walang pagbabago. You say the boys. In Spanish, it will be los niños. Niño, nagiging niño, los niños. Pag feminino, las niñas. So this is, at this point, I will say, isang article the lang, nagiging apat sa Spanish. El niño, la niña, los niños, las niñas. Okay, so particular yung agreement kung singular ba siya at saka anong gender niya. So ito na yung sinasabi. When we talk of gender in Spanish, it doesn't mean only boy, girl. Kaya nga, every noun, you need to determine its gender. Okay, I'll be giving another example. So ito, hindi muna natin yung indefinidos. I will set it aside. So, yung article the, naging el, los, la, las. Can I hear it from you, Janet? Just say el, los, la, las. Start.
El, los, la, las.
Karen?
El, los, la, las.
Gracias, Patrick.
El, los, la, las.
Gracias, Merly.
El, los, la, las.
Anel?
El, los, lalas.
Okay. When you know this is where I'm always saying your confidence level will be different if you're learning the language. Angat konti. Because if you will just say, your point of reference is only just English. You will not think of lo, la, las. You will just say el. Because the article the is el. So you just use el, then you're saying the flower, the girl, the building, the car. Because in English, it's only one, the. But now in Spanish, you have to learn, and you are now aware that it should be agree with if it is singular plural, kasi may los, may las, and if it is feminine or masculino, because may el, la, los, las. Okay. Let's do this example. Now you realize bakit yung mga the nose, the mouth, the ears, the head, if the article, nagbabago. I was not able, I think I should put, you say it in English, you say the nose, the ears, the head, the mouth. It's only the. But in Spanish, it changed. That's why la cabeza. because cabeza is feminino. This time, even cabeza ni Patrick, cabeza ni Karen, cabeza siya. Hindi sinong nagsusuot ng damit. Hindi kaninong mata, hindi kaninong nose, nariz. Doon ma-determine yung gender. No. It's the word itself. So how we will know? That will be our next lesson. Hindi tayo magmamadali. Paano natin malalaman kung feminine o masculino? Generally muna. Generally, when it ends with a, it's feminino. When it ends in o, it's masculino. That's why we say Mario, lalaki. Maria, ano pa? Bello, lalaki. Bella, ano pa pangalan na Teresa. But, yeah. But now, it's no longer that. No? Alam natin hindi na sa ending ang mga pangalan nagde-determine yung gender. No? Especially the millennial names. Hindi na ma-determine. No? Just for the purpose of our study. So, cabeza will be la cabeza. Oído, el oído, because it's masculino. Ojos, pag isa lang ojo, el ojo. Nariz, la nariz. Boca, la boca. Let's do this. Let's say plural natin to. Maraming ulo. Ulo natin lahat. How will you say the artikulo? Any guess? Ano na, based dito, may guide tayo dito. Pag plural na, feminino, ano ng artikulo? It will already be, anyone?
Las cabezas.
Yes, very good. It will already be, it will already be, las cabezas. Because cabeza is isa, it la. Pag maraming cabezas, las cabezas. Pag dalawang ear or ojos, ito maraming ojos. Pag isa lang el ojo, los ojos. Okay, nariz. Pag marami, it will be already las narices. If you notice, post lang muna paano i-convert singular to plural. Cabeza, you just add S. But if it is nariz, you change it to narices. Las bocas. Los oídos, kasi maraming ears. So, nagbabago siya, no? This time, you have to focus the word and determine, ano ba itong word na, ano ba itong noun? Masculino, feminino. This is the time, tama naman sinabi ni Kuya noon nag-back out siya sa klase. Kahit bakit ba daw lahat ng salita may gender, kahit mesa? Yes, kahit mesa. If I will say no mesa, what will you use? The table in Spanish, you will say mesa.
La mesa.
La mesa. You will not say el mesa. It's la mesa. Okay. Some more. Now, ito, mas marami. Get one and say it in plural. I will, if you will do, kayo mauna, you have many choices. Pag kayo ang last, yun na lang maiwan sa inyo. Any volunteer wants to start? Any part of the body here and change it to plural. For example, ako mauna, marami, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we are 7. We are 6. I'll start the pelo. El pelo. So pag marami, it will be los pelos. Who wants to start with hombro? Janet? Sorry, I thought you're raising your hand. Yes, Janet. Hombro. How will you say? No, wala. Yes, hombro, Janet.
Los hombros.
Hombros. H-O. Not
Hombros.
Hombros. Muy bien. Okay. Brazo. Isa lang yan. Pag dalawang brazos, what will be the artikulo? Anyone? Yes, Patrick.
Los brazos.
Los brazos. Perfect. Muy bien. Okay. Gracias, Janet. Gracias, Patrick. Next. Mano. Mano, you might say, bakit naging la? La mano. It ends in O. Why the artikulo is la? These are one of the exception. We'll go to that. When we will go to noun, you will know how to determine if it is feminine or masculino. But this time, mano, la mano. If manos, what artikulo you will use? Anel?
Las manos.
Muy bien, las manos. I highlighted it because this is one of the nag-irregular siya. O siya pero feminino. Okay, we still have for Merly and Karen. Rodilla. Pag dalawang tuhod. Rodilla. Rodillas?
La
Karen?
rodillas.
La rodilla pag
La
isa.
rodilla.
Pag marami, rodillas. What will be your artikulo?
Yeah, la rodillas. Las
So
rodillas.
yun ang gusto kong marinig. Las rodillas. Merly, pierna, isa lang leg. Pag marami, piernas. What will be your artikulo?
Las piernas.
Las piernas. Muy bien. Okay, then pie, los pies. I'll say it in singular. I want to hear you saying it in plural form. I start with Anel. El pelo.
Los pelos.
Janet, el hombro.
Los hombros.
Gracias. Merly, el brazo.
Los brazos.
Patrick, la mano.
Las manos.
Karen, la rodilla.
Las rodillas.
Muy bien. The same. La pierna, las piernas, el pie, los pies. So hit na natin, no? Nakita natin yung punto ngayon. Don't try to think in English, you will get lost. Because sa English, parang automatic, alam natin, artikulo da. Kung yun na ang napasok sa mind natin, L. Article da is L, then with C, everything will be L. El pelo, el mano, el pierna, nagiging L siya. But now, at this point of time, I want to highlight, it will change according to its number and gender. So, the challenge to us now, how we will determine the gender of each noun. That will be our next lesson. We have to learn paano natin ma-determine kung ito, pag hindi nag-e-end in O, hindi nag-e-end in A, how we will determine if it is masculine or feminine. Pause it, that will be our next lesson. But I'll go now still to highlight some vocabularies on the forms. Aprenden las formas. These are shapes, very basic. I will not go to very high geometric shapes, but in Spanish we say figuras geométricas or formas. When you say shapes, it can be formas because marami. When you just say shape, it will be forma. Now you will see forma is la because it's feminino. So you will say, if you the shape, you will say la forma. Shapes, you will say las formas. Okay? Formas, formas. So if you will put the article, it will be la forma, las formas. For the word shape, but it doesn't mean all shapes will be la. Okay? These are the basic shapes. Square, triangle, circle. Any guess in Spanish? Square, cuadrado. Triangle, triangulo. So circle, any guess? Kasi tunog English lang siya. Sige. Karen.
Círculo.
Oh, perfect. Circulo. Some of the shapes will be really just similar. Cuadrado, triangulo, circulo. Next, rectangle, trapezoid, diamond. O, itong rectangle, tunog English. Sige, volunteer. Kasi tunog English, eh. Anel, you're smiling. Sige. Rectangle. Tunog English lang yung Spanish. Tanggalin, lalagyan lang. Rectangulo. Oh, rectangulo. Trapezoid will be trapezio. Diamond is really different. Ito na, ano to? Na-experience namin to sa... Hindi siya, some are using diamante. But diamante is already the stone. The shape is rombo. Ang layo, no? Parang Rambo. You know, konting kwento. This happened to us when we were having AT&T. Tapos siyempre, pag may mga CEO, expat dumarating, kung minsan they want to sit with us. Di ba? Mag-meeting sa conference. So, one of them, there are two. One of the expat, kasi talagang nagsa-Spanish sa amin. Siyempre naman, bilingual, di ba? So, he was saying, except sa TL namin, nag-i-English siya. Kasi TL namin, di marunong mag-Spanish. So, he was saying, ang arrangement ng seat. Kasi ang training room kasi yun. So, yung arrangement ng seat namin doon, parang classroom style. So, pinapaayos niya. And he keep on saying, vamos a hacer como rombo. Hindi naman pwede circular, maliit ang space. And nobody got what is rombo. I have to be very honest, I myself. Kasi hindi naman ako ang kausap. Siguro kahit ako ang kausap, baka hindi ko rin mag-get. So, baka I can remember, no? I can remember because I think I can understand. He's talking about how we will arrange the room. Kami naman doon naman kami sa mga food. So hindi, nag-divide kasi kami tasking. So hindi namin narinig. Sabi niya, rombo. Ano daw yung rombo? Gusto daw niya ng rombo. Pagkain ba yan? We're trying to make our guess kasi yun daw ang gusto. Nag-mention, sabi na pagkain, bakit anong gusto niya? Kumpleto naman tayo. Baka cafe, yung mga ganyan. Sabi ko, tanungin niyo doon. Tanungin na lang niyo ng English. Marunong naman yung mag-English. Until the time, he was really moving the table already. Tinutulungan na niya. Tapos sabi niya, no, se pwede circulo. Hindi daw pwede circle kasi nga maliit ang room. Just como rombo. Doon pa talaga. Tapos mayroon din kami magaling talaga. Sabi niya, ang shape, ano ba naman kayo? Diamond shape ang gusto niya para makasya tayo. Yung ba, no? When you say it. Kasi pag oblong, hindi mo na makikita. Kasi masikip ang lugar. So that's rombo. Even to many, it's not familiar. But I just want to highlight, kahit very simple lang siya word, it could be helpful to us. Learn more vocabulary. I encourage. Star is estrella. Pentagon is pentagono. Oblong is oblongo. Some will you just add O, but hindi lahat. You see, pentagon, star, do not say staro. That's not staro, no? Estrella, pentagono, oblongo. Or this can be also oval. And if it is oval, you say ovalo. Okay. These are the shapes. I just want to highlight, this will be our next meeting dialogue. Like we're going to say colors and shapes, put them together. Los colores y las formas. Let's do this. You try to, sorry, this is small. These are the shapes and their color. Complete the sentence. I will start with, okay, Merly. El triángulo es de color. Like saying, what is the color of triángulo? Review your color. El triángulo es de color. Ano yun? Say, the triangle is black. Any guess what is black in Spanish? I think Patrick. What is negro? So, el triángulo es de color negro. Next. El rectángulo. So, the rectangle now. Look where is rectángulo. Es de color. Review ang color. What color is the rectangle here? Oh,
Morado.
So morado. Say it in English. It's morado. Then we have el círculo es de color. Anong kulay ang circle?
Verde.
Verde. Muy bien. El cuadrado, the square, es de color anaranjado or naranja is correct. Let's go. El óvalo es de color blue. Azul. El corazón es de color red. Rojo. Now we say el rombo, the diamond is de color rosado. Now, if you notice, these are all shapes, but when we go to estrella, take note, what is the gender of estrella? All the rest ends in O. Triángulo, rectángulo, círculo, cuadrado, óvalo, corazón, rombo. We use L. You notice? Now, when it is estrella, what articulo will I use?
La.
La, very good. La estrella es de color amarilla. So it also changed. Post muna yung mga color, negro, morado, verde, kasi it also adjective na kasi yan. When we go there, we go back to this, then you can see that they have to agree. This time, what is clear, the noun, which will be our next lesson on óvalo, the noun will agree with the articulo on its number and on its gender. Kaya el triángulo, el rectángulo, el círculo. Then when we reach to estrella, we say la estrella. I'll skip this. This will be our activity next time. I'll ask each one, ¿qué forma es esta? What form is this? You answer rectángulo. Then I put the color. ¿Qué forma? ¿Qué color? You say amarillo. Then I will ask the question, ¿qué forma y qué color es esta? You answer a rectángulo es de color amarillo. Okay? That will be for our next dialogue when we meet next meeting. Let me just, vamos, I really put complete. I think this is more than your 6. I really put 8 because I do not know if some whose name is in this class will still attend, but we're already on our 3rd session. So it's just the shapes and the color. Then I'll highlight again our articulo, just like here. When I say el triangulo, what will be the plural form? You will say, okay, Karen, I'll start. El triangulo, plural of el triangulo is unmute, los triángulos. Hindi na kami.
Los
Okay.
triángulos.
Muy bien. Okay, Patrick, el rectángulo will be?
Los rectángulos.
Gracias. Anel, el círculo?
Los círculos.
Gracias.
Los
Janet, el cuadrado?
Los cuadrados.
Merly, el óvalo? El óvalo will be, Merly? Los óvalos. Then we have el corazón, los corazones. La estrella, this time will be las estrellas. Okay? So this time you can see, don't translate it in English or else you will get lost with the article because you will say the triangle, the triangles. El triángulo, los triángulos. We'll still go back with that, but this is very clear. The agreement of number, kung ilan siya, singular, plural, and the gender, if it is feminine, masculine. If the noun is masculine, the article should also be masculine. I want to put this, but let me take picture. I don't want we will be cut off without taking the picture again and again. I say this is a source of verification that I conducted the class. I think Merly got disconnected. Sorry. Okay, gracias. So we call it, can we do, can anyone pick one and answer at random? Who wants to start? This will be our ending part. Janet?
La mesa.
La mesa, correct? Okay, we follow. Cine, any guess? Ako na, kasi hindi
El
nag-e-end.
cine.
El cine, muy bien. Tienda.
La tienda.
La tienda, gracias. Karen. Lapis.
El lápiz.
Hindi kasi
El
siya
lápiz.
El lápiz. Then we have gafas, marami, las gafas, lámparas, las lámparas, los hombres, el auto, la manzana, el país. So we'll learn more of this article and noun agreement because in our next meeting, we will start already with noun. Noun in Spanish is sustantivo. Like you say, el perro de mi amigo. La niña está contenta. Los lápices de Andrés. Las luces del auto. You will really be confidently and you can all speaking and you can also understand well. Because when you say, ano daw yung los lapis? Ano yung, bakit los na? Kasi when you say in English, the dog, the girl, the pencils, the lights, walang pababago yung artikulo. But in Spanish, it is according an agreement with its noun, with its substantive, with its number and its gender. Okay, looking forward next meeting, we will have about family and the house. We learn article already. We continue learning article and nouns. Colors, review shapes, and articles. Little by little, you can already start saying it correctly. When you see something like dog, pero, you will say el pero. Pag maraming dogs, you will say los peros. Pag nakaupo kayo sa mesa, you will say la mesa. Always, when you identify a noun, try to go with an article for practice. Don't drop the article or else what is mas marami sa utak natin ang article da in English. So it's really an effort to unlearn a little, just to allow how you understand the noun and article in Spanish. Let's say it's a day. I am very happy to be with you. And any word to say adios without saying the word adios. Okay, I'll start with Karen. Choose any word. How to say goodbye here.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego. Okay, gracias. Janet?
Hasta mañana.
Hasta mañana. Patrick?
Hasta la próxima.
Hasta la próxima. Anel? I'm sorry?
Hasta pronto.
Hasta pronto, muy bien. So practice not saying only, I know you hear many of saying ciao. Ciao is universally for Latin speakers, but that's really informal. I still encourage you to use other way of saying adios. So for now, continue to aprende palabras y vocabularies. Even start with a small step of learning vocabularies. For now, muchas gracias, Anel, Patrick, Karen, Janet, and I think disconnected, Merly. Adios. Nos vemos mañana. Hasta mañana, same time. We'll see each other. Have a wonderful day. Muchas gracias. Adios.
Gracias, maestra.
De nada. Hasta mañana. Cuídate. Okay? Take care, everyone. Adios. Adios, Karen.
Adios.
Hasta mañana. Bye-bye.
Cuídate.
Gracias.